all the time. That's
Wow.
huge. That's huge.
Very huge.
And at 1,000th of a cent, and it can convert into almost any asset in the world. It'll interface with those like Ripple and others, but the reality is they don't have the ability to distribute. We all use one of these phones. We all understand the importance and the liability. Well, I think most of us don't understand the liability with the phones. If you haven't watched The Great Hack, watch it. Follow Brittany Kaiser. If you haven't watched Social Dilemma, watch it. Both of them are Netflix originals, where they actually build them from Netflix. But please watch those two documentaries, understand the issue, and really, I think The Great Dilemma explains it.
Well, guys, before we go any further, I'm going to stop right there for 1 second and put this in your head. Whoever sees this video, make sure you get back to the person who showed you this video. It's very, very important, because by the time you see and act, somebody else will already be in. I guarantee you. This is the first time this thing has ever been released. I mean, I had to get here to make sure that I got it. And I forced him to give me a phone. I forced it on him. I mean, I twisted his arm for real. But also, not only does he have nice phones, he has all these new gadgets that will be coming along later on, you know, with the iPod earpads and so all these gadgets he has, man. Incredible stuff.
So here we are kind of in where all the magic happens, if you will. But we basically come up with lots of different features or functions, whether it's charging devices. So it's a holder, but it also charges it at the same time, right? Not only that, but it'll actually hook up to, we're getting a call right now. It'll hook up to other devices such as these. It'll actually do certain things. It'll also track more of your information. Whether it's a watch like that or watches like these. If you go up to clear.store, you can basically start seeing different ones. This is one of my favorites. So literally just the ability, it's a normal watch, but it's also a headset at the
That
same
is so
time.
cool. That
Isn't
is
that
sexy.
tight?
That is
But
sexy.
it's actually a scanner that can also check your oxygen levels, your heart rate, which, yeah, all iPhones do that, or iWatches do that, the sleep patterns. But you'll find that some of the abilities within Clear tie to the individual's identity, which then can tie to a whole nother element of life and health. And when we start understanding what the individual in the center of health actually turns out to, then in the future, imagine 100 years from now, people being able to gather all the data of who we are, what we did, how we operated, and maybe we took a chemical, or maybe we took an herb, or maybe we took some other type of thing, and our health actually improved.
Yeah.
And you can prove it. You
Yeah.
can prove it with the data. It's all about the data, but the data has to go to the individuals, and then you can use heuristics and algorithms and machine learning and all these different technologies to then allow you to actually monetize your own data, which is a whole nother
conversation.
beautiful can of worms. But that's phase 3. Phase 1 is you're already buying a phone, you're already paying for a cellular service, you're already, and I don't know that people know this, but the number one biggest market in the world, you know what it is? Healthcare.
Yeah.
$135 every single month every human actually spends in one form or another on healthcare, whether you're living in Cambodia or Beverly Hills.
I think more than that.
But it may not be in insurance, because in my opinion, insurance is a part of the problem, literally. Pharmaceuticals is a part of the problem, literally. When we start being honest about truth and physics, a lot of things are going to get real fast, because we have an opportunity to come together and actually gather data, and in the data, we'll find the truth. Do we really believe what's going on with 2020 with COVID?
Not really, but something going on. We just don't know what it is. Something's crazy is happening right now.
I'll tell you what's going on. A financial reset and digital controls.
Yeah, most definitely so.
And that's what's driving a lot of this. And to be honest with you, all of us can actually vote with our own choice. You can vote with what phone you're going to buy. You can vote with what service you're going to use. You can vote with what applications you use. And I promise you, if you figure out how to migrate from Android or Google over to a Clear phone, or from Apple, which is it's a harder journey. So commend you on making the jump. Because I know Apple's
the devil.
No,
I can't stand Apple.
Apple literally
cult.
It has a massive following and loyal customer base because they paid attention to detail and they care. They build a good product and they support a good product. But Steve Jobs is dead. Period. You tell me one piece of innovation that's come out of that company. You tell me one piece of
guidance and leadership that's come out of that company. And what I would tell you is, we'll compete with Apple, Facebook, and Google at the same time, where they got hundreds of thousands of people. We'll do it with literally less than 100. And if you want to join us and drive the awareness around what this is and unite mankind together and actually provide maybe some value for you, for your family, for your kids, for your posterity, for others.
Legacy.
Yeah, please help us.
One question I think that everybody wants to know before you go, and we're going to cut this short because you know you got other meetings. People have been asking me over the last 24 to 48 hours, is this available worldwide? They want to be, other people are calling me from Australia. They want to sell the phone. They want to use the phone. They want this. Are you shipping to other countries? I mean,
so we are actually shipping to other countries.
Great.
So there's 3 different pieces to this, okay? One is logistics. We talk about Australia. Clear Cellular is actually based out of New Zealand, and it all goes to New Zealand, and there's a bunch of reasons why. I won't get into them here. But logistically, they can go anywhere in the world, so yes. From a math standpoint, or an economic standpoint, or a currency standpoint, those things are all basically solved with what we're doing with this guy, right?
Right.
So that answer is yes. From the technical phone itself, they work on majority of the bands and frequencies worldwide. When I say majority, they work basically in every single country. Today, you can get it in the United States of America, in Canada, and in Mexico, all on the same network, all on the same high speed bandwidth, as well as unlimited calling, so your long distance doesn't get tagged, and then others. So what we're basically doing is, in Australia or wherever, they can literally just get the phone. They have 2 SIMs, they're fully unlocked. Grab your cellular network that you're currently on. For us to get that third phase, we got to basically, in Australia, you got Optus, Telstra, Vodafone. So those are the 3 carriers. Clearphones will work with all 3 of those, from my understanding. If you take like over to New Zealand, you got Vodafone as well, work there. You got something 24. It's really it's a Maori-based network.
But whatever they're taking, put the SIM card from there into your phone.
But those all work for sure.
Right.
And then you've got Spark, which is a new telecom there. Great company, good company. But the point is get a phone, get your SIMs, see if it works, and then build out your country.
There you go.
There's like, you have tax issues? Yeah, there'll be reporting realities. But you can actually get paid in clear, and you can convert into any currency. And if you already understand the crypto world, you understand that United States of America, where this is actually starting from a distribution standpoint, it was actually started in New Zealand. United States of America will actually be one of the last adoptive environments to support this technology. Why? I believe the United States of America is actually a decentralized country itself, and that's why it's got a lot of things going for it. Every state, every county, every sheriff has its own autonomy to be able to regulate, and basically they're authorized to manage their own counties. So every single county, and we talk about voting, which is a whole other conversation. Go back and watch the interview I did with Brittany Kaiser about voting before the election started. There's some interesting things there. And if you haven't tracked Brittany is literally, there's a lot of people like Edward Snowden, like Julius Assange, like Brittany, these whistleblowers that literally dedicated their life to talk about truth. Please listen to them, please support them, please rally behind them. And by buying a Clearphone, you and anybody else, they already are building circles, and they'll actually get some of the benefit and value here. But the reason I bring up Brittany is she worked Cambridge Analytica, okay, which tied to the whole Facebook debacle, which I won't dig into, which then actually helped Obama get elected. She specifically worked on that team, then helped Trump get elected, specifically worked on that team. And then if you watch The Great Hack, there's another presidency that she worked down south, which if you really dig into Dominion and see kind of what's going on with all this voting stuff, the net is democracy, choice, freedoms have all been censored through these centralized systems, whether it's Google, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, you name it. The Clear Community, which is a non-incorporated entity, which runs on decentralized infrastructure, and right now we're just figuring out how to scale it at mass, like we're talking millions of users a day. New millions of users. I mean, so you can literally take your data from Facebook export it, import it right into this new ecosystem. And not only do you do that, but there's other ecosystems when you can actually log into your data, you can mine it and pull it to be a part of yourself. But I won't blab on that. Keep your Q&A going. So
Well, you know what,
I'll
guys?
stop
I mean, we've heard already a ton, and I stole some of his time. I showed up here early this morning before my flight, and hope I can catch him to get a few more words or a few more videos out of him. He's been nice enough to spare me, not throw me to the vultures. And
He's a good dude. Listen to him. And you know what? Anybody like me, I grew up in a similar circumstance like Rodney. And again, we're all the same, so please.
it's different colors, that's all.
And brothers from another mother, right? He's got better
Exactly.
glasses and style than I do. But the net is his example of just tenacity and making good choices every single day.